Welcome back to Homestead. John Andretti in the pit. He did his mark. Last time in, he made a significant air pressure adjustment. This time, 4 tires and fuel, no air pressure adjustment, no chassis adjustment. We're working on the left side now. Last time in, they put in a half pound of air pressure in the left front, took out a half pound in the right front. Now, they're down and away at 16.6.
So a pretty good stop there for Richard Petty's team, and Andretti, the third-place car, before the stop heads back out onto the speedway. So we've hit that window with no caution so far in this Pennzoil 400, where we should begin to see the rest of the leaders coming down pit road. Here's the pole sitter David Green leaving after a pit stop. Green had dropped back a little bit, just outside the top 10. And here comes Ward Burton in for a pit stop in the Bill Davis Racing Pontiac. Heads down toward our Marty Snyder.
And Ward described his car as erratic. It started off pushing on this run, and then they got a little too loose. So what they're going to do is they're going to make a track bar adjustment. Tommy Baldwin, his crew chief, thought about a wedge adjustment, all of those in order to tighten him up just a little bit for the longer run. But they did go with the track bar adjustment, which should help him out, should tighten him up just a little bit. Left side tires on, and a good stop for Ward Burton. He is back out on the racetrack.
17-1 there for Burton. Ken Schrader has been in. Ted Musgrave has been in. Kenny Wallace has been in. And now here's the leader, Bobby Labonte, dropping onto that access road we described a minute ago to the inside of 3 and 4. Now down to the 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed limit at that first pit box. So Tony Stewart takes over the lead as Bobby Labonte comes down for his pit stop. This would be at lap 123. Second set of stops in this race. Let's go to Marty Snyder for the Bobby Labonte pit stop.
He had a pretty good car on that last run. He was a little bit looser than he would have liked on the longer part of the run. So what they were going to do was a track or a wedge adjustment, and that's what they're going to wind up doing. They're trying to tighten him up for the longer part of the run. We've so far had green flag runs, and so that means the long part of the run is very crucial. The 88 of Dale Jarrett is right behind him. Dale Jarrett's car, 16.3 for Bobby Labonte. Jarrett's car's a little bit loose. They went down around on the track bar. They're taking out a half pound of air pressure. That should tighten him up just like he wanted, especially for the longer run. But we didn't talk a lot about it. The DJ was coming through the field late in that run, so they're pretty happy with the 88 car.
Jarrett had moved up to the 5th position just before the round of pit stops began. Now here's Tony Stewart coming down onto pit road for service from his crew. Jeff Burton will take over the race lead as Stewart gets service. Bobby Labonte's team, the other group, pulled off a 16.3. Let's see if Tony's group can cost you a little more money here, Coach.
I tell you what, what we're proud of here, all those guys right there, nobody came over from the 18 car. That's a brand new group. Not bad.
16.3, so based on the bonus program you told us about a little while ago.
I'm a little lighter in the wallet.
There you go. And so Jeff
But I don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff Burton, as I said a second ago, takes over the lead after Stewart makes his pit stop. So Burton by the start-finish line, and he leads for the first time in this race today, so collecting 5 bonus points toward the NASCAR Winston Cup title, and his fight with Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon for the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions.
What you've seen, Alan, that run of pit stops is a little different last time. Last time, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart came down at the same time. Tony Stewart stayed out 1 lap to lead to get 5 bonus points because he's fighting for, the year-end point fund.
Dale Jarrett just getting by Jeff Burton to get himself back on the lead lap, which is important. We're a caution to come out before Burton would make his pit stop, so Jarrett back in the cycle of things, if you will. But Jeff Burton still staying on the racetrack and continuing to lead this event, running a little bit farther on a tank of fuel than some of the other competitors. Burton's won a race or 2 this year on fuel mileage. One of them at the expense of Joe's car and Tony Stewart up in New Hampshire in July.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That probably hurt. But what they're trying to do possibly is just stretch the fuel mileage. This may come down to a fuel mileage race again. They want to see exactly how far they can go. And this is a good time of the race to figure it out.
It would be almost impossible to comprehend the inaugural event at this racetrack going without a caution flag. It has been so difficult through the weekend. It has claimed 2 cars at happy hour practice, a number of wrecks, 2 big wrecks specifically in yesterday's NASCAR Blue Series race, plus a couple of more wrecks in the Thursday and Friday practice sessions here. It would be hard to comprehend this race going caution-free, but it's been very clean so far as Burton heads for pit road.
Yeah, definitely, Alan, because Jeff Burton is on pit road now. That's the speed area where he can run as fast as he can. You hear him slowing down. He's grabbing a gear now, getting it slowed down.
Crew no doubt reminding him what the RPM reading needs to be in which gear to make sure he's not speeding on the pit road. But at that 45 miles an hour, it is a long way from the mile-long one end of pit road to the other. Here's Burton in for a stop.
Jeff Burton brings the car to the attention of Frank Stoddard and crew, and I'll tell you what, guys, it needs a lot of attention. He was real tight getting in the middle of 3 and 4, and he got very loose as a result coming off. What they're going to do is they're going to take and put 1.5 rounds of wedge in the left rear, put 4 new tires on, and go back out. But this was a handful. He's out of here. Good pit stop.
Neat look at Jeff Burton there, gulping from the Gatorade bottle as, you know, not your typical visit to the rest area in the middle of a 400-mile drive down the interstate.
The concentration's so important here anymore, and you want a quick drink. It's very, very hot in those cars. It's anywhere from 30 to 50 degrees hotter inside the car than the outside temperature. So, you know, he's probably dealing with 130, 140 degree temperature inside that car today.
So now Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Sterling Marlin is second. You look at the two drivers on the screen there. Gordon leading, Marlin second. Then it'll be back to Bobby Labonte once these two drivers make their visits to pit road. Marlin went the farthest than anybody else on the last fuel run, the first set of stops in the race. Marlin's not coming till lap 65. Gordon stopped at 63.
You can see the difference there with fresh tires, though. David Green just pulled up on the outside of those two cars and driving right on by him. That's the difference, fresh tires on a racetrack like this, man.
We're just a couple of laps shy of the halfway point of this race, just about 200 miles in. It has been caution-free so far. Bobby Labonte has been the dominant driver in the event, but he has fallen back just a couple of positions.
All clear.
Let's get in the middle of this cycle of pit stops. You're listening to David Green's team.
What they're telling David is if he's clear in traffic, whatever, and you know, if he can get down past cars, clear underneath, see the 24 car on pit road now making his stop. Again, that fast entrance speed, you see him get slowed down, grab another gear right here. Now he's under brakes hard. He's got his RPMs established, what he's needing. Coast it down. The spotter's counting him down to pit road now. What I mean counting down, he's going 10, 9, 8 to stops. Just pull right in and know exactly where he's at.
So Gordon in the pits, handing the lead to Sterling Marlin as Jeff makes his way down to the attention of his crew. Marty Snyder with the stop.
Well, it's just been a terrible day for Jeff Gordon. In fact, that's how he described his car, terrible. On that last run, he had no forward bite. And what that means, when he hits the gas, the car just wants to slide up the racetrack. It won't go and turn like he wants it to turn. He is pushing off the corner, in other words. They made a track bar adjustment. They're also going to pull a rubber out of the right front for Jeff Gordon. They already did that. Now he's back out on the racetrack. Now let's go to Mike Massaro.
A lot of chassis adjustments being done down on this end of pit road. We'll pay attention to Sterling Marlin as he rolls down into his pit lane. His team up on the wall, ready to spring into action. They jump off the wall and go to work on the right side. They'll take 2 tires there, immediately go to work on the chassis. The wrench is back in on the bolts. They haven't made a move yet. We don't know what they're doing, and they're going to take out 1 round of wedge on the right side. They'll go to work now on the left side, 2 tires there, 2 cans of 76 racing fuel, still up on the jacks. Team still going to work, finally down the wedge. A good stop for Sterling Marlin. 17.3 seconds.
So Marlin, after leading a couple of laps, heads back up onto the speedway, and that hands the top spot back to that man, Bobby Labonte, who has already led 110 of 133 laps in this race.
Alan, we see with a pit stop, you see that what happened to Gordon there, an ill-handling car, a lot of changes, and as a consequence, over a 19-second pit stop. You got to make a lot of changes on the car, and it also affects your pit crew.
We've talked about this long entrance and exit to pit road. We are timing people through that whole process, the time they hit the access road to the time they leave it and get back onto the racetrack. And Mike, that's really an important number.
Well, it definitely is. You know, it's very quick. The two Gibbs cars are very close together. John Andretti beat him by just a little bit, a half of a second, getting on and off pit road.
Bobby Labonte, your race leader, has just completed the 200-mile mark of this Pennzoil 400. Halfway home this afternoon, Labonte leading Tony Stewart, John Andretti, Mark Martin, and Dale Jarrett trying to lock up the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship here today. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.